My name is George Martinez. I am the product manager for Tyco Cloud Solutions team, and we really appreciate everyone's time this morning. We're really excited about this new launch with Tyco Cloud and ioSmart Mobile Access. So to get started, for those of you who may not be familiar with Tyco Cloud, I'd like to give you just a little bit of background on what this release is really all about. The focus of Tyco Cloud and the whole Tyco Cloud Solutions business unit and application is really all around simplifying security with cloud. The Tyco Cloud platform has been out for a couple of years now. It was completely designed and developed around the premise of cloud managed video surveillance. It's now a single physical security application suite, and what we've done is basically enhance that product line with a series of extensions, and now introducing access control application extensions in cloud to complement that suite. The key premise around the cloud strategy is around software as a service. That's providing customers and our integrators a choice in deploying security in cloud format that is software as a service as opposed to on-premise infrastructure. And the whole premise and intent, obviously, is by way of using software as a service to reduce the on-premise cost of typical infrastructure and use cloud where it makes sense for customers, simplifying costs, less infrastructure on-premise, and allowing for much more simplified applications. The whole point is being able to allow customers to streamline their security operations, whether they want to consume the product in a pure software as a service format, or whether our Tyco Cloud partners want to deliver managed services. Cloud's really positioning them well to do that, deliver that, manage that completely via cloud in a service format, whether it is with video, without video, with pure access control. The cloud platform now allows customers to do that. What we're going to be doing over the next year is continuing to release a series of access control extensions, providing customers more choice. But here in April, what we did was launch our mobile access extension with ioSmart technology, starting with mobile credentialing and really simplified mobile access solutions that may not necessarily, provide what customers are looking for from an on-premise heavy infrastructure standpoint. But if they're looking for more simplified methods where cloud makes sense, then this is really, really a great solution, a great option. We're going to be talking about a series of applications that cloud is now facilitating, allowing our customers to use cloud in a manner for mobile access control that they may not have considered prior. All right. The whole premise of this product launch that started in April, we did a series of webinars over the last month. We're going to continue to do that. But the core of this release is using Kantech's brand ioSmart reader technology. This is not a brand new product. It is an existing product that's been out on the market for several years. But with the power of Tyco Cloud and some really great smart firmware development that we've done, we've been able to take the ioSmart reader and kind of bring it into a completely new category. And so for those who might be familiar with the Kantech brand within the Tyco portfolio, matching this up with Tyco Cloud, we're able to leverage the technology of ioSmart that's already been out there and has been released. That product was released several years ago with BLE, Bluetooth Low Energy technology built into it. And so one of the advantages is that not only is the ioSmart reader a multi-technology card reader, but now with cloud and the built-in Bluetooth, we're able to deliver a pure mobile credential solution for those customers that are either wanting to transition away from cards and go to a pure mobile credentialing solution, or customers who want to augment their existing access control systems using ioSmart for both card and mobile applications. Okay? We're going to be talking about how we do that, what that means for the existing customers who already have ioSmart versus new customers, new greenfield opportunities on how they might view ioSmart and use it in multiple applications. Okay? With this introduction of ioSmart and cloud, because of what we're doing with mobile, we're also able to enhance the existing capability of ioSmart, not just with the Bluetooth low energy technology and the mobile application. We're able to have some pretty extended application from long range applications using the Bluetooth. So, in a traditional format, customers who might be using cards and have been looking for an alternative approach for long range, the mobile credentialing capability now provides them a really good choice to continue using ioSmart in really long range applications where they might not have had a good alternative before, right? And so we're talking about ranges that go anywhere from 1 meter at under 3 foot short range all the way on up to well over 100 feet or 30 meters. And we're going to talk more about those capabilities as well. The most significant piece of this strategy with Tyco Cloud is that not only have we been able to take advantage of the ioSmart reader technology that's already out there in circulation. Like I said, it's an existing product. It continues to ship. It's been shipping really well over the last several years. But now this same reader platform can be leveraged and deployed in a completely new and different format. So not only can you use the ioSmart reader as a reader on your Kantech controllers or on any access control panel as a reader, but now the ioSmart reader itself is extremely intelligent and can be deployed in what we're calling a panelist mode for local access control capability, for offline door applications, completely cloud managed with a mobile app. And that's fairly significant. That allows us to use ioSmart in completely different applications where customers might have considered having to use a keypad or having to use some type of wireless door lock or something that isn't necessarily a fully wired controller-based door. And so in much more simpler applications where basic door controllers required, what we're looking for a keyless solution that's far more cost-effective for less critical doors or doors that don't require the level of security of a controller-based system, then ioSmart allows us to do that. We're going to be talking more in detail further in the presentation around how does ioSmart work in that manner. And the other aspect of the ioSmart technology with cloud and mobile is that our mobile credentialing capability, as well as the panelist offline kind of operation, isn't really cloud dependent for access control decisions. We'll talk a bit more about how that works, how cloud interacts with mobile app users, and how the readers interact with the mobile app itself. Okay. So as the ioSmart reader is the core of the mobile access solution, obviously it's always what's at the door. It's what customers are accustomed to interacting with, whether they're using a card or they're using the mobile app or an offline application. It is what could control the door. All of that capability is actually delivered via cloud services and via the Tyco Cloud platform. The whole premise is to help customers kind of transition from typical card technologies. Obviously, we're having a lot of interest due to COVID now going on, where people are trying to look for more touchless type solutions, less touch, get away from keypads, get away from interacting with a reader at the door, and so what cloud is really allowing us to do here is using the cloud portal. We're going to run through some of those in a live demo, get everybody comfortable with what that looks like. But now Tyco Cloud allows our partners and customers to kind of register their devices, their ioSmart devices, right in the cloud into their accounts. Also register their mobile app users and initiate and create credentials and smart keys for them relative to using the mobile app all of that is really kind of self-service. And so we've really simplified how we use cloud for our partners and our customers. No complicated contracts. You don't need special programming cards to personalize readers and transfer security keys. We've really created a really simplified approach here that makes it extremely quick to deploy mobile access control solutions with your readers, register your users, and then remotely manage and deploy credentials and smart key management from cloud. So all that can be done remotely from anywhere, no network access required. The solution is extremely secure because the readers nor the mobile app users require any type of network connectivity to the customer's premise network. And we're going to talk a bit more about that. But the whole focus and the whole goal between the cloud services and the GoPass app for the end users to get in and out through their doors, along with the ioSmart reader, is really focused around eliminating excessive costs, reducing the security risk of cards or key tags or fobs. So those customers that are concerned, they might have legacy proximity technology. They're not quite sure exactly, what their next card access strategy is going to be from an user perspective. This really puts a lot of things into play, helps them transition. They can still use their cards on their existing access control systems, then use mobile to transition or replace that altogether. So the cloud piece, along with the mobile app and the ioSmart reader, are really kind of the three key components that are abstracted from the customer's access control system. But we're going to go through that portal and show everyone how simple it basically is to enroll devices, users, and manage access for those. Okay. Before we kind of go into the deeper aspects of the solution set with ioSmart, wanted to make sure everybody understands, what's kind of happening behind the scenes. How does, cloud interact? How does the, end user who's carrying the EntraPass GoPass app interact, and what's the position and function of ioSmart? Our focus here was remote cloud management, make it service on demand, and that's really accelerating the ability to deploy a solution without it being really complicated. So all cloud is doing here is providing the secure services, the portal capability. We register those devices, and users in the cloud basically is facilitating the delivery of the mobile credentials or the mobile smart keys to those registered users. And so as customers or our partners make any changes in cloud relative to those users or access privileges or just generating credentials, revoking, issuing, whatever, that's completely done over the air from cloud right to the GoPass registered application. And so that's not connected to the customer's network. That happens over standard Wi-Fi or 4G as the mobile app users walking around and roaming. And then any interaction between the mobile app and the reader is completely also over the air via local Bluetooth. So it doesn't require 4G or Wi-Fi. It doesn't have to go back to the cloud at the moment of access being initiated or requested. That's all locally kept between the GoPass app and the reader. So there is no network connection at all in any of this back to the customer's on-premise network. So it really reduces the attack surface. It's really secure, and all of that's delivered remotely. So this will work not only on an existing Kantech system with controllers, KT1, KT400, or you have ioSmart readers and you want to use this mobile credentialing capability. It'll work there. It'll work on a third-party access control system via weekend interface between ioSmart and that system. So you basically use cloud to register your devices, enroll your users, create and issue credentials, and then those credentials can be onboarded into the access control system, and it'll appear just like a card. Okay? The key component there is to really understand that cloud is not the dependent component. It's not making any access control decisions. It's just delivering the credentials to those users. Right? I'd say the number one, the most significant advantage that ioSmart brings to the table with cloud is the flexibility that ioSmart as a single device can now actually serve two completely different purposes and applications. And this is probably the most significant differentiator in the market for us. If you look at the traditional reader market, where ioSmart readers have played, there's a whole series of competitors out there with readers that are multi-technology that read Prox and contactless smart card, and they have BLE, and they support mobile strategies as well. And that's what I would call the mobile credential market. That's on the left-hand side of this chart, right? This is where we're taking an access control reader, we're putting it on an access control panel. All of the access control management for those personnel and facilities are actually managed through that local access control system on premise. Well, when you put an ioSmart reader on there and you've issued credentials to your mobile users, then they can then use their mobile app using their mobile credential, just like they would also have the opportunity to use their card or key fob, right? Just looks like an access control number. All decision, all access control is done through the panel in the access control system. So that's the traditional, fully wired, infrastructure around a door and systems that we're all very familiar with. And many of our Kantech customers have got that configuration. And in some cases, people are using ioSmart readers on third-party access control systems. Okay, so I would say we probably have somewhat of a parity to the market relative to multi-technology reader with mobile credential capability. Where the biggest differentiator is now with the same ioSmart reader technology, and because of cloud, we can actually take an ioSmart reader and personalize it and say, don't function or don't operate as a reader. Now you can actually personalize it via cloud services when you register it and say, I need this ioSmart reader to now function as a panelist door controller. And in essence, now I convert what is an ioSmart reader into a combination mobile reader and local door controller for what is typically known in the market as an offline managed system or a headless access control system. And in that category, we don't use mobile credentials. We use what we call smart keys. So you basically just use cloud to register these devices. They're offline local door controllers at the door. You can still wire door contact. You can still wire your Rex if you have that requirement. But basically, you can control any type of lock that is powered, whether it's a mag lock, a strike, an actuator, a solenoid. And in this market, you can now deliver cloud managed mobile access to locations or openings or doors that are not tied to any type of access control panel. There is no network connectivity onto the local premise. So it's a much lower cost installation where traditionally customers might not afford or have the cost justification to go in with a fully wired access control system like it is on the left. They don't want to use physical keys. They want to eliminate that, but they don't want to necessarily go in with something like a keypad or something that they have to program locally every time. So we're seeing applications that are in the non-traditional sense. And I make the mention that now you can use an ioSmart reader from doors to drawers, right? Whether it's a cabinet, it's an even enclosure. We're seeing customers with a wide range of doors that are fairly low risk. They could be interior doors, office doors. They don't require door monitoring in real time. They don't require remote control, but they do have a population of users that require access. And so mobile provides a really clean, simple, lower cost solution for that. Also in installations where you might have hundreds or even thousands of remote facilities that could be things like electrical or NEMA enclosure and cabinets, or it could even be a cabinet strapped on a electrical pole somewhere, where as long as you have local power and you've got an actuator or some form of powered lock, you can use mobile completely just like it would normally do for managing access remote users, access privileges, and bring that information back to cloud for historical purposes. So ioSmart now is really a multi-purpose device. It's more than just a reader. It continues to serve the reader market for those folks who want to add mobile. But now you can use ioSmart as a completely pure play cloud managed access control solution, no access control panel required for doors or openings where that application is appropriate. So beyond the multi-purpose capability that we've now been able to bring to the table with cloud and the ioSmart, the other major differentiator that we're delivering is the way we're managing cloud services. And this is, brings a lot of flexibility to our partners and end user customers as to how they wish to manage their estate in cloud relative to mobile credentials or smart keys in the offline door application. But we've really simplified it. So when I talked earlier about service on demand and fast to deploy, because Tyco Cloud provides self-service web capability, it's very easy for customers to kind of manage their costs relative to what it would have cost them to manage cards or other mobile solutions that use mobile credentialing. So we've really simplified it. There's no complicated contracts. There's no programming cards that have to be ordered in advance and encrypted to program your readers. You can pick up a reader right through distribution. You can go on to Tyco Cloud Services, have an account created with subscriptions, register those devices, and immediately start using it. So, if we have customers or partners that need to deploy solutions, on a Sunday at 4 a.m. in the morning, there's no one here that you need to call. This is all self-service through the partners, and it really makes it very flexible. The other thing is the way we've packaged our subscription services for mobile, and there's basically just 2 price points. We do have obviously multiple applications. You have your mobile credentialing, or if you're not using mobile credentialing and you just want to use the offline managed access, you can do that as well, or you can combine them. At the end of the day, the seat cost per mobile user is the same price point on either one or the other, or you can get them combined. So we're basically talking $4 a person per year per mobile seat. And we have customers that have a mixed bag. You can mix and match. You can have certain users that require mobile for mobile credentialing. You have certain users who might just require mobile access using smart key management. Combine those. So we've created a dual user seat as well to bring the cost of that down, where customers require certain personnel to have both capabilities. So really 2 price points. You're either at $4 per person per year or $7 per person per year. And the beauty is that it's all done in very small, low 10-pack incrementals, so it makes it very cost effective. There's no big volumes. There's no major annual contracts that are complicated. Customers and integrators have the choice of delivering service, whether they would want to do this on a monthly subscription or an annual subscription. They can go ahead and add 10 packs as they go. So if you have 20, 30, 40, 50 employees, you just buy the number of mobile user seats that you require, and then you could issue all the credentials and or smart keys against those users that you wish, regardless of the number of readers or doors that you have. So the model is very clean. It also allows them the flexibility via cloud portal to change those subscriptions at any time. All of the billing is fairly straightforward. It's automated. So if you got into a situation where, hey, I need 20 more seats, you can obviously do that. And if at some point you have to offboard employees and decide that, hey, you know what, I don't have these many user seats anymore, I don't need them, you can reduce those subscriptions, right? So we have a lot of flexibility, and this is all part of our standard software as a service strategy within Tyco Cloud. Whether you're talking video, whether you're talking access, it truly is software as a service. So it's not being consumed like you normally would think of traditional software, because it is cloud. So let's talk a little bit about prerequisites. How does this really happen? What's the process? What does it really look like? So really for all of our Tyco Cloud partners, it's fairly straightforward since they have the ability within Cloud to create accounts for their customers, whether it's video or access alone. The first thing is a Tyco Cloud partner creates a customer account with their access control subscriptions for the number of mobile user seats that they will require or desire. And maybe you start out low and then eventually you just kind of add subscriptions as you go to cover those seats. But the first key thing is for a customer to have an account created in Cloud for them with their subscriptions. The second thing is that the ioSmart readers, as I mentioned before, it's not, ioSmart as a reader technology, it was not a brand new product. It's been out there for several years, but it was, the firmware that's been deployed out there, isn't Cloud aware. And what we've done is we've released a new version of firmware, allows existing customers to go ahead and upgrade their ioSmart readers. So if your ioSmart readers are tied to a Kantech controller and wired in RS-45 mode, everyone's familiar and aware that you can just upgrade the firmware from the access control head end, right from EntraPass. If you're not KT1 Web, you can do the same thing remotely. But the key thing is the readers require this latest firmware, which is already published and available on the website. If your readers are not wired in RS-45 mode, maybe they were wired in Wiegand mode, or because they're on a third-party access control panel, then you would require to use the RS-45 port on the ioSmart reader via laptop and the software update utility to get the firmware on there. Once this version of firmware is on there, then it's a matter of logging into Tyco Cloud and register your ioSmart devices. So in some cases, other competitors require you to get personalization cards where you have to, order a card specific for a customer, then they have to program each reader. We don't take that approach. Once you have the right firmware, you log in to Tyco Cloud under the customer account, and now you just register the mobile devices, or the ioSmart readers are going to be using mobile services. There's two ways to register an ioSmart reader. One is remotely via the web portal. You're basically going to use a serial number and a confirmation code that you just manually enter for that reader. We're going to run you through that on the website so you can see what that looks like. One of the things that are in progress right now is that ioSmart readers will be updated in production here in the next month or so. So they start shipping with the proper firmware, so you don't have to do a firmware upgrade in the field. And we're also going to be providing a new form of serialization with confirmation code. So you'll see it on the labeling of the product the way it is today, as well as on the packaging. So that way you can just pre-register these devices via Cloud. If the readers don't have the serial number, you can't get to them, or the reader's already installed on the wall, but you've upgraded the firmware, then you don't have to take the reader off the wall. The other way to register an ioSmart reader is using the Tyco Cloud mobile app as your installation tool. And that allows you also to use the mobile app to basically scan the reader on the wall. It'll extract the serial number and confirmation code, and right from the mobile app, you can either copy that number and type it in via web, or directly through the Tyco Cloud app that acts as your installation tool. You can register that device, configure it right from the mobile app as well. So two really flexible ways we're delivering with cloud services how to get an ioSmart reader registered in the field. Okay, and partners can do all this remotely. So once you've got ioSmart readers registered, obviously now you've got your customer account, you got your devices registered. Depending on the access control application, whether, hey, is it just going to be used for mobile credentials because it's the reader on a third-party system, or am I going to start using the offline managed cloud solution set for mobile only in the panelist mode? Depending on what you're doing, then you would typically just start setting up your access control schedules, your templates, and assigning whatever access rights or privileges to your potential mobile users, right? That's not much different than you would normally do on an access control system. So once your infrastructure is kind of like configured in cloud and set up, then obviously at that point, you can start using cloud to enroll mobile users under that customer account. You do that right via the web portal. We'll run you through that. It's fairly easy to onboard a mobile user, to get them credentials or to get them smart keys. It's basically their name, an email address, and a phone number. And at that point, you could easily assign them readers and or the access rights to the offline doors. If you want to do that in advance, you don't have to. But the beauty is that cloud at that point, once you register your users or enroll them, cloud automatically takes it from there from a onboarding standpoint. Once you register a user, they will receive a text and email to their mobile phone that you've put in here. That guides them through the process to download the GoPass app. It is the standard GoPass app that's already released that people use on IntraPass. It is now cloud compatible for this application if that's what customers want to do. Or they can use the app by itself for the offline managed piece. But cloud will push that out to those users that you've registered. It takes them through the process. They register through an invitation they receive. The moment they go through and finish that validation verification process, any mobile credentials or managed smart keys for the offline application will automatically appear in the GoPass app. And they'll operate GoPass just like they do today. If you're already familiar with GoPass, it will basically allow them to click and request access on doors that they are within the Bluetooth range. So the app will automatically see that you're within range of a door. The users only see doors that they have been provided credentials for, so they won't see doors that they're not authorized for. So it makes it fairly easy, all via Bluetooth. If you're within range, you see it, you click it. And if you're not within range, you're not going to see doors on your app. So it's kind of like a self-managed app that you don't really have to do a whole lot with. Any changes, revocations, or changes in credentials that the customer does via the cloud portal, that gets refreshed on all the app users. So all completely remotely managed and in a fairly simple process. So the IntraPass GoPass app has already been released. It's out on the app stores. It's been updated. It's the same app that's used with the IntraPass head ends. And like I said, now it does have the cloud capability for those customers to take advantage of this service if that's what they wish to do. Okay, so I'm going to jump into a quick demo here. We're going to get into Tyco Cloud, show you what this looks like, and then we're going to go off into the Q&A on the end. Is there anything here at this point? I noticed a hand raised. Do we have any problems? Audio, video?
No issues on the audio video side. There are some questions in the question period, which we'll get to.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go into I'm actually going to bring you guys into our CloudView portal. This is what Tyco Cloud looks like. Can you see my screen now in the browser?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and log into my Tyco Cloud account. This is me simulating what an end user would look like, providing that the Tyco Cloud partner has, giving me my credentials into my account. I'm an administrator. The dashboard you're seeing when you first log in, it just so happens I'm a customer who has cloud managed video as well. And so as we go through this, you're going to see what a mixed environment looks like when you have video. Right now, I'm just showing that there's one camera. It's a cloud connected camera that I have in Boca Raton. I just threw it in a cube. It's looking at one of the doors. If you don't have video as a service in your account, then you wouldn't see any video and you're just seeing the access control pieces. But as we kind of go through here over the next 12 months, you're going to see a whole bunch of drip releases, bringing more integration into this from a video and access perspective. And then you'll start to see KT1 managed access into the late summer, towards the end of the year. Okay. So this is just a quick thumbnail, real-time video feed coming in from Boca. I'm here at my house, logged in over my network connection, no VPN, all secure. I'm going to go ahead and go to the account settings. And so this is, once a partner sets up an account for a customer, the customer can log into their dashboard. They can actually see the premise of their account. It's just kind of a thumbnail view. What this account information is really used for once it's set up is once you enroll devices against the account and you enroll users, your mobile users for credentials, all invitations that are being sent to your mobile app users that you're enrolling will be sent with an invitation saying it's coming from this account name, and they'll be able to know who it's coming from. So obviously this would be like your company information, and so that's one of the things that the account information is used for. Plus, all mobile users and devices are specifically encrypted against this account, so that makes it extremely secure. The other thing the customer is able to do is set up their preferences and also have a view of what subscriptions they're consuming. So in this case, on the right, you can see that this account is basically an account that's been preloaded with 100 user seats for mobile credentialing and 100 mobile user seats for smart key management, which is the offline piece. And out of those, you can see that I've already issued mobile seat to taken 32 mobile seats for credentialing, and an additional 18 seats I've taken up for offline managed access to different users. So this gives us a really good quick hit of, hey, how many subscription seats do I already have available and how many have I used? And so obviously, as you kind of go through this, customers have the opportunity to relieve seats, take mobile users off their seats, change those numbers to something else. They can work within their entire pool, and they can add subscriptions or reduce subscriptions on their account as required. Now, once we come into cloud, let's talk about how do I register devices. Now I have an account set up. I'm basically going to a live view of my access control dashboard. On the left-hand side, what we're seeing are all of the ioSmart readers that I've registered under this account, my account being the G. Martinez Boca account. And so there's two things. There's a list of the devices that we've registered. These are all the ioSmart readers. And then we also have an event viewer. And the event viewer basically is showing all event activity against those readers. These are all the access control transactions that have been generated against those readers by the mobile users. And that information, like I said, comes back by way of the mobile app delivery to the service. It doesn't come back from the customer's network because there's no network connectivity to the customer's environment. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'll show you what a ioSmart reader looks like in configuration when you set it up as a reader for mobile credentialing. So I'm going to just pull up my Boca reader. I'm going to go ahead and do the employee entrance. This just so happens is the one that I have associated with the camera in the front. And it's as simple as this. You basically add a mobile device. You give it a name of how you want that reader name to appear in the mobile apps. Once you push out credentials, you put in a serial number, and you basically tell it, I need you to operate in panel mode. That means this is a mobile credential reader. It's going to live on a panel. Whether that reader is communicating 45 or Wiegand, it'll go out that way. We assign it a location. A location is basically a grouping, so customers can have different locations. And then when mobile app users receive their credentials, readers actually appear under locations. So it gives you a very logical way for customers that have multiple sites, multiple facilities. They want to differentiate those sites. This gives you that logical grouping. The only other thing you do on a reader here from cloud is basically tell it what range do you want that BLE to function at. So you can have readers deployed where you can control the read range. In some cases, you might want to put in long range for something like a parking gate. You could put long range in for maybe a perimeter door if you've got that within the facility and you want folks to be able to, get to that from outside the facility at 15, 20 feet away because of the construction, right? You can play around with ranges, and ranges will vary. So you can have either a lot of readers that overlap and all appear in the app when you're within range, or you bring the range down per door depending on your application where you may not necessarily want longer ranges. All that configuration is done and delivered via cloud. You don't need to touch a reader to change the range at any point in time. So this is what basically an ioSmart reader registered in cloud looks like. And once it's registered, you can now issue credentials for your users for that. Okay. I'll show you here what an ioSmart reader looks like when I configure it in what we call a panelist mode. And that's when it's not going to be tied to an access control panel. You want ioSmart to function as its own local door controller. Again, same process. You give it the name that you want to appear in the apps. You give it the serial number. You tell it register as a panelist device. You're still associated with the facility or location. And then all of a sudden you'll see you have a series of other options. In this category, I'm leaving this reader as a long range reader, but now I get to determine my unlock time. I can determine, do I have a door contact? Do I have a rec sensor? Do I want this door to automatically unlock on schedule that would only happen when the first valid person arrives, or do I just want it to remain as a standard, no schedule, just based on mobile access? So you have this extended capability. It's offline. All of this happens locally. And here is where now access control kind of privileges with time schedules are able to be used between the mobile app and the reader as an offline managed door. Okay. So once your devices are set up and configured, by the way, I'll just show you here in this activity monitor, you'll notice that, I showed you what the Haley Center door looked like, which is an offline managed door. Here's actually a door force transaction that I produced while I was offline. The next time I went ahead and did a valid mobile transaction to unlock that door, it picked up that offline history and shoved it up in the cloud. So I still, even in the offline world market where I don't have a controller, I don't have an online network or local premise network connected, I still get the historical events and activity of what happened on that offline door when it was offline. The next time someone uses their mobile app, we pick up any of that activity, bring it up to cloud. So you still have historical view of those events. And obviously, if you're integrated with cloud video, you get the benefit of seeing that. Okay. Now let's go to our credentials. Here's a list of credentials that I've created for these users. One thing you'll notice is this credential number. This is the credential number that automatically gets generated by cloud and issued for that person. So if you're using the readers in panel-based mode tied to an access control system, that basically is the credential number that you would program in the access control system. And now that person on that access control system would be able to use the GoPass app. And that's the access control number that gets passed to the panel, and everything then happens on the access control side. Once you register, you'll also see that there's this column here called mobile verified. So you can very quickly see, hey, I've generated credential records for these people that I'm enrolling. Cloud's automatically sent out the invitation. Some people have accepted the invitation, gone through, registered the app, they're already using the system. There's other people that are still pending. You can see that they haven't been verified. You can resend an invitation. Sometimes people forget to look at their, ignore a text or an email, or didn't realize that that was the, invitation to get registered. So you can, resend it from there. Basically, when you create a credential for a person, it's fairly easy. Like I said, you're basically putting in their name, their email, and their phone number. If they are a mobile user, you click on that. And at that point, when you hit save, that invitation is gonna be sent out. You can basically set your start and end date like you would normally do for anybody's credential, even on the access control side, right? And what you'll see on the right-hand side are basically your readers and your doors that are available to be assigned based on the ioSmart readers that you have registered on the account. This example, I could use templates. I can create templates that basically show, pre-configurations. Here's, 2 doors that are 24/7 for security personnel. These are actual credentials. We could also go in and assign manually any type of door or ioSmart reader. So in this environment, what you're seeing, here is a reader that's a panelist reader. You'll see that it's always valid because it's just a mobile reader. We're just saying this person has a credential. That's a reader that lives on another access control system. These other ones that actually have a schedule are ioSmart readers that are actually configured in panelist mode. They are the door controller. And because they can be a door controller, then you get the benefit of not only issuing them access to that door, but now you can make those doors with a time schedule, even though you don't have an access control panel. And so that's what we call a smart key, right? So both mobile credentialing and smart key management for offline doors can actually be managed within Tyco Cloud for the same customer if they just so happen have a dual application. Otherwise, it would be somebody that just says, I'm only doing mobile credentials. I do all of my access on the access system, or, hey, I'm only doing offline managed via cloud. What we do here is give you the benefit knowing that customers have different needs and a mixed environment is not uncommon. So we have the benefit of having a holistic view of all of this from one portal. Okay. These are just some of the access schedules that we've created. You can continue to create those schedules. You create those, associate them with your templates, and so that's a really quick way of issuing access control privileges and/or rights to mobile credentials from within cloud. And there'll be a whole series of other extensions that we're going to be adding to this here over the next coming months. So that just kind of gives you a quick view of your devices, events from those devices, as well as enrolling your users and getting those registered. Remember, you could always onboard users from here, remove their mobile credentials, change those credentials, all from within cloud, and that gets pushed out to that mobile app. Okay. So with that said, I'd like to bring you back to the presentation. You have an idea of what this looks like in cloud. From a support standpoint, we have a whole series of resources. They're available on tycocloudsolutions.com. If you haven't visited that website, our partners are able to register and request to be Tyco Cloud partners through that web portal. It'll get sent out to our regional resources. Here's just a quick list of our Tyco Cloud core sales team around the country. They're working very closely with our Kantech sales organization as well, in working both with their Tyco Cloud partners and partners who want to jump on the cloud services platform, whether it's for access and/or video or combination. That's all available to the partners. We also have resources in Europe. We've already deployed Tyco Cloud. Video has been launched for the European team for some time. They're now also in the process of rolling out the access control component as well. Okay. So with that